Hello, everyone, and welcome to another great episode of Bikinis After Babies. Thank you so much for joining us again. We have a fantastic episode to bring to you guys today. But of course, I am one of your hosts, Mandy Rashawn, here with your other beautiful blonde host.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. This is Gillian Hughes, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Bikinis After Babies. Today it's just the two of us, and we thought it would be good to kind of catch you up on what's been going on with us, and then we're going to segue into talking about when prep gets hard and some strategies that we have to survive the rigors and the grind of prep. But we want to start today just kind of by updating you on what we're up to. And Mandy has returned from a weekend away where she was expediting a competition in Iowa, right, Mandy?
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know, we usually record our episodes, Monday, Tuesday. So we're just getting back from a busy weekend. So my weekend, I was expediting out in Des Moines, Iowa. It was a fantastic show. Again, I love being able to have the opportunity to expedite. It's great. Like, I meet a bunch of great people, and it's a lot of hard work. It's a hard work, but being able to, be there for, the athlete's biggest day, because we both know, this is a day that you will never forget. You will always remember it. And to be able to be back there and to make it great for them is a great thing to be able to do. It's very busy. It's a lot of running around and doing a lot of stuff, but it's beyond worth it. So I left Kansas City Friday, and then did that Friday, Saturday, came home Sunday morning, and then immediately right back into mom mode. I got home, caught up on work, clients of course, and then straight to a soccer game. Carson, one of his leagues, just kicked off, so we have lots of games. We have 3 games a weekend. And so we're out. I had a game in the mid-morning and then came home, and Carson and I took a nap. And then basically woke up, was almost late for the other game, and just ran out the house and made it to the other game. And then when we all were coming home, it was funny. It was Carson's kind of banged up, all the running around all weekend and everything. He's sore and tired. I'm pretty sure all of us are going to go to bed at 8:30 today. And we did. Carson, he took a shower and wrapped his leg is hurting him. So he took a shower, wrapped his leg, ate some food. He was out. Aaron and I were out by 9:30. We were done. Our weekend, we were just tapped out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So,
Family nap time.
yeah.
That's so good. There's nothing worse than the weekends, especially my middle school kids, they always want to stay up, and I'm no. Brady went Friday night to a friend's house, and he was okay, well, can you pick me up at 11? I'm yeah, I can do that.
You are brave.
No, here's how it really went. I'm texting my husband at work. I'm promising all these favors for him to pick up Brady. I'm I will do this and this and this if you please pick up Brady. Because for me, beyond 9 o'clock, I probably shouldn't even be operating a vehicle, So I was a big promise when I said I would. I mean, his friends, everybody lives close by, so really if I had to, whatever. But Brian was I got this. I'm thank you, So I will say what my husband's a wonderful team player as far as helping out with all the kids stuff. When he gets home from work, and he works really long hours, and has to commute to another state to work. So I mean, it's a long day, and he's a very active dad and does what he can when he's home. So I appreciate that. That's where you can really help me the most in life, is just anything that happens after 8 o'clock at night. I need help because I run a lot of carpools, but beyond 8 o'clock it's nighttime for me. So
I totally relate to you. In fact, we have it to where it's a rule in our house. So I'm the morning parent and Aaron is the night parent.
Yeah, same.
So it's anything after 6 o'clock, I can go out and do it, but it's because you know how the kids are, because our sons are really close in age. Carson will be 15 this year.
Yeah.
And so anytime he's well, can I go to the movies? And it's 6 or 7. Can I go to a friend's house? That time. It's I'm not the parent you need to ask.
Yeah.
like, I'm the wrong parent. And he's like, yeah. So then he'll talk to Aaron and they'll figure out if he could go and the drive and everything like that. And Aaron will stay up. But, like, anything in the morning, so, like, I get up so early. I do all the, like, getting up for school, cooking breakfast, packing food, and anything kind of in the mid-afternoon, too. Aaron, kind of like your husband, like, Aaron's schedule is so demanding, and that he, like, gets stuck on the phone, or he gets, in meetings, and there's just no way. There's no way he can, like, do certain things. So during the day and morning is really, like, I'm the parent. I'm the one running around. I do all the stuff. But then as soon as it's the evening, I'm like, no. Like, I'm tired.
It takes a village. It really does. Especially with, like, what we do. Like, we live very healthy lifestyles, but, in order to get everything done in prep, like, I have to get up and get my day started. Plus, I really can't sleep in. Like, I always want to. Like, I'm always like, yesterday specifically, I was like, oh, we don't have anything until 10, because practice cheer was like at 10 to 12 yesterday. And, I mean, 4:45, boop, eyes are open. I'm like, oh, where should I go back to sleep, please? Because it's too early to eat. And I couldn't. So I was like, oh, all right, I'm up. But, I mean, it's okay. I think, like, where it's good is, like, if I have to catch an early flight or something, like, next week we're going to Orlando, and my flight is, like 5:05 in the morning. And I'm not stressed about it because I'm used to, like, being up early. But it does help in our household because, we have 3 different bus times with all the different schools that the kids all have to. Anyone has early practice or something, I have no problem. Right. So I don't mind it, but yeah.
I always base my schedule kind of like around Carson. So, and it's weird. I do it around like his entire schedule. So whenever like school starts, what time does he have to be out the door, go to school? And then I will like back up basically what I have to do with that schedule. So like my cardio, food, get ready, gym, anything like that, and then I'll marry it like with that semester. And I know Christmas break comes, so like maybe I can sleep in a little bit. Just like summer's around the corner, because I'm like you. Like I want to sleep in. Like I would love to just sleep till 6. That would be like unheard of for me. Yeah. But same. I just like ding ding. I get up at like 4:30 or 4:45 or 4 right now, and I'm like, really, just can't sleep no more. But
it's okay. I get a lot of work done. Like I really do. I get a jump start on the day. I can do like, it's peak week for 3 of my athletes. So I was able to do like their check-ins. And so then at least when I'm training, because I typically go to the gym like at 7:30, once the middle school kids are on the bus, then, I don't feel like, oh, I've got to hurry up and get back to work. Like I've already kind of got a start on my day. And then I typically start my work day at like 10. So it's just different. I've done so many different things. Like I've been the 4:00 in the morning training person, and I can't do that anymore. But I'm not saying that won't happen again. Like that might be the case in the summer, because I was looking at like the football schedule and everything. I'm like, I might have to start going a little bit earlier, but we'll see. I think the theme is just we're flexible, and we really just I work around the kids and their sports and their schedules, and I make it work. But sometimes it's just okay. It's not going to work this week. I have to like move things around. So.
Yeah, Carson has like this agility training he does all summer, but it's literally up the street, and he can like.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah, and it's not till 8. So even if I dropped him off, he like it's the whole high school too. So like he can easily like catch a ride home, and I don't have to worry about him getting home or anything like that. But I know what you mean. Like you just kind of take it however their schedule works.
Yeah. I mean, it's busy, but it's fun. I was like, somebody who was it? I was getting my nails on this lady was like, I can't believe you have so many kids. And she's like, is that how you stay so skinny? You don't have time to eat? I was like, thank you for calling me skinny. But no, believe me, people find time to eat. No, it's just, it's funny. I think if anything, it's just, it's go, go, go. And we'll talk about this later in the episode, but like, I am too busy I never get bored. So I'm not like, oh, I was bored, so I wanted a snack. Like if I sit still for long enough, I probably will fall asleep. But yeah.
I feel like that the soccer game yesterday, I feel like I almost fell asleep in the chair watching the game. I'm like, because I was wrapped in a blanket because the morning game was cold.
And you get cozy.
Like,
and then you're lean too,
like,
right? When you're lean, it's like, I'm so cold. It's like 80 degrees out there, like, but I'm freezing.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing we can also play catch up on is, as lean as I am right now, both of us are the same, which is nuts because we're both doing 2 totally different shows in 2 totally different locations, but we're the same amount out, which was not intentional.
No, but here we are.
Weirder.
It's cool.
I know.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
For you listeners out there to just to let you know. So I did my very first show of the season, March 30th. And when the feedback I got working with my coach, we wanted to pick another show in the summer, like kind of the beginning of summer. So Gillian was already in prep for her DC show, which is June 8th. And so my coach and I are looking at shows. I wanted to pick a show relatively close to my area. I wanted to have a good promoter. I wanted it to be really kind of simple. I didn't want to travel too far, things like that. And so I'm like, oh, I'll do the Omaha Pro show. It's 2.5 hour drive. Like, this is perfect. And then lo and behold, it's the same weekend as your show. So Jillian and I are the same 7 weeks out. How are you feeling?
6.5 weeks out.
Oh gosh.
Well, not Wednesday. It'll be 6.5 weeks out. Yeah, I feel really good. I did not feel so good 2 weeks ago, and you talked me off of a ledge. And between you and my husband, I was like, definitely having like a, just this has gotten tough. And I'm with a new coach who is a great fit for me. His personality and mine are a good match for each other. His style I really like. And it's been awesome. I've been with him like 7 or 8 months now. So we did an off season together and then prep, but I didn't really ask like what his methods were. I don't usually, because I know these like coaches, they do what works. So, knowing wasn't going to like change my decision about hiring him as a coach, but I just never really thought to ask. So, checking in every week, and things are tightening up week by week. I'm really excited with my progress. There's parts about this journey that like, I look at my physique and I'm like, I've never looked like this at 9 weeks out. I've never looked like this at 8 weeks out. Like, but I've also really been very efficient. I had a really efficient off season, first time probably ever. I really cleaned up my drinking habits. I made a post about it on Instagram. I don't want to like go into it too much in this episode, but like, that was a huge modification in my lifestyle. Just a lot of things have really like aligned for me. Stress management, gut issues, like everything's just like going so good. So, my protocols would be returned after my check-ins, and I'm going like, man, this seems pretty aggressive for this far out. And looking ahead at my schedule with like, I'm coaching this weekend, and that's always like a big energy expenditure. And then we leave for a cheerleading competition the following week. And I'm looking at like low food, high cardio, going like, oh my gosh, like, progressively those things are getting tougher and tougher each week. And I'll do anything. Like I'm not afraid of hard work, but just kind of going like, what am I going to, like, if this is where we are now, where are we going to be in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks? Like, am I going to be like able to eat anything? Like, have I made a mistake? Have I made a mistake? I'm going to be honest. Like, that's how I was feeling. And, I talked to Brian, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, my family needs me. Like this is already challenging, and prep is challenging anyways, but I'm like, I know what where my body is. So anyway, so then I called you, just sort of like, what am I going to do? Like, what do I say to James? Like, I don't want him to think I'm like a big weenie. So you were like, just girl, A, you knew this was going to be hard. B, just talk to him. Like, and it wasn't like I really was thinking, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I've made a bad decision. Like, I just really thought, I just never really thought to ask like what the methods were moving forward. So I communicated, oh, what do you know? That's the solution. Just fucking say something. And right. So I sent him a message, and I was just like, hey, like, do you think I'm making good enough progress? Like, I just keep every week, this keeps getting, there's more cuts, there's more cardio, like, oh my gosh, and so then he explained his strategy, and I was like, cool, like, I'm in, no problem. And it's so funny how actually it did get tougher since that last drop. And I've been fine just because I know where I'm headed. Yeah. So I'm the type of person that if I like see the path and see the journey, like I'll do anything. So I went from feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to die, I can't possibly do 1 more minute of cardio, to like, bring it on, let's go, Right. So, anyways, but I think it's important to just speak up and say like, and I don't think I was really even feeling like I can't do this. It was just more like, what can I expect? So now that I kind of know I have the big picture ahead of me, I'm really excited. So yeah.
Yeah, because how preps are no prep is ever the same. Even if we're the same, like, it's never the same. Coming, like you said, you had a successful off season. Because I remember when it was like back in August, we were at the we were at that casino together and we were
Yeah.
grabbing coffee and you told me, you're like, I'm gonna work with him, and I was like, oh cool. And that was like back in August. So like
Yeah.
you've had a really good off season into an on
Yeah.
season, and you've been working really hard, and it's just getting to that time where you're like, are we sure? Are we sure? Are we sure? And it's scary, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I kind of had the same thing with Sam, just in a different like way, because like the way I was same thing, the way I was eating, the way I was looking, the way things were happening. I'm like, I've never done it this way. I've never,
Yeah.
I got a little scared. And the way I would like kind of communicate with her is just kind of like, hey, I will do anything. Like I will do what you want me to do and what you tell me to do. But are you sure? Like, are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
And it's like, and then like you said, just talk, like, and say, this is like what I'm scared of. This is how I feel. This is like what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I won't do it. I'm not like making excuses. It's just like, can I like know, like, is everything okay? Is this why? Like, what's going on?
You should
And that's,
be
like,
able
part-
to ask
Yeah,
those questions, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have a coach that's just telling you, here, do this, and then when you ask a question, you're not making excuses, you're not like you're not fighting it, you're just like, hey, like, why are we doing this, or like what can I expect here in a few weeks? Like, I'm pretty sure on every coaching call I get on with my clients, whether they're lifestyle or competitor, they'll ask me like, where do we see this going in X amount of whatever the time frame is, and I'm like, this is what we're gonna do, and this is what we're gonna hope works, and if it doesn't, we'll have to do something else. But you have like a method to the madness, you have a methodology of doing things, and so it's like, you just gotta ask so you can have clarification, and like you said, it makes you feel better, because then now, like you said, it got harder, but you're like, let's go, okay.
Yeah, it was a game changer, like, for my mindset. And I think really I don't think I was ever asking for things to be easier. And I think that if you do complain to your coach and your coach makes it easier, you got a bad coach, because that they should be listening to you and supporting you. But if they have decided things need to get a little bit harder, a little more challenging, because we need to push your body more, and they've made that decision, and you say it's too tough, really that coach should be finding a way to help you understand, or like helping you with strategies to like mitigate some of that discomfort, but helping you to understand, like, this is what's necessary, because your body is always going to say, you need more food, you need rest, you need recovery. Like, that's like our natural survival instinct, right?
Our body hates, yep.
Exactly. Yeah. David Goggins talks about this in his book, and he calls it like the governor, which is like this, like, protective mechanism in our body. Like, you can't do any more reps, you can't run any further, you need to stop. Like, it's our body protecting us, right? So that's natural for your body to, like, you need more food than you're getting, you shouldn't be doing that, so I think that can sink in, and you just need to speak to your coach and be like, hey, these are my concerns. And if your coach is like, okay, well, let's just we'll back off on the cardio and give you more carbs, is that the answer you really want? Because then aren't you thinking like, well, if you thought I needed it and now I don't, am I going to get there? And their job is to get you results. So I think, like, you should feel comfortable asking questions, and you should be able to, speak to your coach. And James was wonderful and provided so much encouragement. It got me really excited. Honestly, I went from, like, it was such a roller coaster of a day. Like, I went from like having like a fucking meltdown on the phone, and then you're like, just talk, it's fine. And you're like, I think you were like at a party or something, and you stepped out to like calm me down. Like, you're such a good friend.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to talk.
I had to be, hey, we're prep besties, okay?
That's right.
I had to be there for you.
Yes.
Like, come on now. No,
It
yeah,
helps so
my
much.
I was with my brother and my nieces and nephews, and we were at some like play place. That's why, like, it took me a minute to even get service, because there's like no service in a place like that. It's kind of like,
But you did it for me.
It's like a fun run kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just went outside. I went down the road, and I was like, what's up? What's happening?
Yeah, no, it was great. So yeah, so
you're
we're like 6.5 weeks out, and I'm going to DC to do the DC ProAm. And I'll tell you, like, how I picked this show and why I would love to come and be backstage and compete on stage with you. But you had originally not picked that show. And
that was...
so I always just like to make my shows an adventure. And DC, I've never been there. And last year when I was watching the show, they give away these like beautiful crowns. And so that's like how I picked the show. Plus, I knew I wanted to be in front of specific judges, because my goal is to do nationals. I'm doing Universe at the beginning of July. So it was important for me to like be up against, you know, athletes that I'm probably going to see at Universe at a national show, and then judges that will be on that same panel. So that's why I picked DC. And then I am usually like coaching shows in the area around here. So I don't often pick shows in the Midwest just because I'll probably have an athlete on stage, and I try not to coach and compete on the same day. I've done it before, but it's kind of hard. Last year at Universe, I had 2 girls in the open, and it worked out beautifully because I was done hours before them. Like I competed at like right at the very beginning of the show,
masters,
and they
right?
had I only did masters. I didn't even do masters 35. I only did masters 40. And so they were on stage like 6 hours after me. So it was great. I like took my suit, my shoes off, put on like my coach hat, and like coached them, and then like got ready for finals, and it was kind of perfect. So, but that doesn't always happen. And then there was one show I did in Dallas, and I was in the same class as one of my clients, and I won, and she was like, I think she was okay, but I think it was still awkward. I didn't really like it. I'm like, I guess as the coach, like, you know, I was cheering for her, and if she would have beat me, I would have been totally fine. I don't have an ego about that kind of stuff, but I think it was just weird. So I'm like, oh, I try not to do that. So
I can kind of understand that. That'd be tricky. I will say in the Omaha show, like, I don't have any athletes. I know some of the people that will be there. I know people that are competing in like figure, and I think there's going to be some bikini girls that I know, but that's just from like being around the area. We're all competing against each other.
Yeah.
But like you said, I didn't originally pick that show, and it was it's not last minute, because I think I was like 10 weeks out when I picked it or something like that. So it wasn't last minute.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it just was like that works the best. And also like kind of like you, like I always would make it an adventure for my family. This was something that's specific for me. I need to fix a few things with my feedback. I want to try a few things with my hair.
You need some more stage time. Yep.
My husband and my kid don't need to come and like spend their whole weekend doing that. And in fact, it actually kind of worked out, because after I picked that show, Aaron and I were talking about it, because of course he wants to be supportive. He's like, well, I can drive up and watch you at the night show, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't have to, though. Like, it's not a big deal. And then, lo and behold, of course the kid has a soccer tournament. Like, why not, right? So, so it worked out really well for that. I'm like, you guys just, whenever I travel and I go out of town, they have a lot of fun. Like, they'll go get sushi together. Like, they went to I got a new Wi-Fi router, believe it or not. Like, can't have enough of those suckers in this house.
You have like 7 already.
I think we do. So I have one actually specifically in this room now. But they do that. They'll go tech shopping and do
boy
together,
stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll go have chicken wings and stuff. So, but it's nice.
That kind of like is a good segue into what else we were going to talk about today, which is Amazon and TikTok finds. And the reason why I specifically wanted to bring this up.
I got this top on Amazon.
It's cute. Is that a part of a set? Like, does it come with pants or shorts?
No, it comes in like a 3-pack.
3 different tops?
Yeah, here. Like, if you're watching on YouTube, this is like, it's like a cute little like just a cross-back top. And it comes in a pack of 3. And if you click on it, instead of like if you click to open it, there's like just a whole bunch of colors you can pick from. Like so many colors.
This is an Amazon from a 3-pack as well, this one. And it's short really too. Yeah. Well, so prep girlies, when we're prepping and we're spending a lot of time on, YouTube and TikTok. I mean, that's what I do when I get through cardio is I'm just usually looking at TikToks or watching YouTube. And like my favorite YouTube videos are like when they do like a spring haul or something. And I'm just furiously adding things to cart.
I see those on my...
It's crazy. But I'm always shopping in prep. And so I thought that would be a little fun topic to talk about favorite things and fun things that we've purchased. Which we can't do a show and tell really because we're a podcast. So I purposely didn't bring the things to camera, but I'm pretty sure my daughter thinks I'm crazy. So I'm older, so maybe that's why this kind of happens to me. But I remember this happening to my mom too, just getting paranoid about stupid things. But TikTok made me buy fire blankets because
I realized throw on you.
No, on things that are burning.
Yeah. So you throw it on you if you're on fire or something's on fire. It's like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh man, TikTok, man. I was scrolling through. It was all happy stuff and recipes and beauty and makeup, and then all of a sudden it was like, what if your curling iron lights on fire? And then I'm thinking about we leave the kids at home. We've got teenagers. I'm like, we don't have a fire plan. We didn't. ever like sit down and be like, if the house is on fire, you need to go out this window. So this, first of all, that woke me up out of a dead sleep, and I couldn't sleep 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Like,
Oh my God.
oh my God, we don't have a fire plan. Like, I have to teach the kids that if you touch the door, don't open it and go out the window instead. So then I bought fire blankets, like one for the upstairs and one for the downstairs. And I'm like showing Brooklyn, and she's like, you're certifiably insane, Mom. So that was one thing I bought. But then the other thing that I bought, which like I'm so excited about and like super proud of myself for installing it, is this shower head. Because again, TikTok will make you feel like if you dare use a regular shower head, your hair is going to fall off of your body and like your skin is going to like get crusty.
Dramatic.
Yeah, but still, I have blonde hair, and I've just noticed that it just is picking up this sort of like yellowish tinge. It's probably from the hard water that we have. So I bought a shower head, and let me tell you what, it was like a magical waterfall when I took my shower.
Really?
Oh my God, it felt just like it was like soft and beautiful. It felt so good, and my skin felt so good. Just one, I mean, it's a little ad.
Is it like
for
a
this.
water purifier kind of waterfall?
It's got a
Like
vitamin filter in it. And it has
so
a metal removing filter, and I installed it like myself without like a plumber or anything.
aw.
I know.
Well, and everything that we name on this,
yeah, we'll
just
link
put
it
in the
all
show
below.
notes. So, so that way everybody can see it. But that's really neat because
And it was
curious
not
about
expensive because the one that I was looking at, it was like Jolie or something. That was the one on TikTok, and it was like over $100. And I was like, what if I hate it? Like, what if my husband hates it? You can't like return something. You could put it back in the box, but I'm just like, I don't really know about that. So then I went over to Amazon, and I was like top. Oh no, wait. I think I looked on the internet first to see like best, like top reviewed water filtering shower heads or whatever, and I found this one on Amazon. So it was less than $50, and that was an amazing shower I just had. So it was worth every penny. So anyways, what about you? What did you buy? What do you got? What do you have to unbox?
Like,
that you
oh my
haven't
gosh,
unboxed?
I buy clothes. Oh yeah, that I have right now. Yeah, so I just bought a whole bunch of because I have finally just accepted the fact that my clothes are too big for me, and I keep like my off-season clothes for so long. Like I will make them work. I will wear
me
belts.
too.
I will figure.
I try
it
not
out.
to buy skinny stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I if you see the majority of the stuff I wear outside of the gym, it's pretty baggy. I like baggy hoodies. I like joggers. Like if it's not like a sports bra and a jacket, then like usually it's a hoodie, you know. And even date night outfits lately, like I've kind of gone through. Like I've made a Pinterest board. I'm like, what do I really want to wear when I go out? That is always my go-to. Is like I have to look at Pinterest and be like, okay, that would be like my style. And then I'll kind of piece it together. But I will piece that style together from Amazon. So if I see like something on Pinterest, I'll be like, I'll get those ripped up jeans with like a crop top that kind of looks like that and a jacket.
Yeah.
It's nice. Like you said, if I don't like it, I'll just return it. It takes me 2 seconds and I buy it again. And I go through this vicious cycle. But no, lately I've kind of just embraced the fact that none of my gym clothes fit really anymore. Even my sports bras. And I've been pushing it for probably over 2 months now. And I've gotten to the point where I'm literally rolling up my leggings that are supposed to be tight to my body. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this. So I used to be like, a Lululemon person. And then after a while, I'm like, I'll try these $24 leggings from Amazon. And then they're great. And then I have nails all the time. And then they don't rip. And then there's...
Thank you. I know I've done that with like some like expensive pants.
500 colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, how come I'll go buy Lululemon for like $105 and eventually they like get shitty, like they do.
They do.
But these suckers for $25, man, they'll last you a hot minute. So all my stuff that I've been buying right now is really just like kind of gym clothes, but they're just smalls now instead of larges or mediums. They're not as baggy because it's getting hot. The gym's getting hot. I have to accept it. So that's a lot. And also my vitamins too. I get like vitamins and different brands of stuff like that on Amazon.
I do. You're always running out of stuff. So it's like, oh, I need more glutamine. Oh, I need this. I need more fish oil. And it's just so convenient, So, I mean,
and it's
I have a full Amazon storefront with helpful things, but...
So the sweetener drops that I have with me, this was a big one. So my stevia drops, I used to always have to go to like a special grocery store, right? And here it's Sprouts. So I go to Sprouts, and a little, like, I wish I'd have it with me to show you, but again, like, if you have YouTube, like, we'll link all of this.
Yeah.
The little squirter bottle I have, it's like $30 at Sprouts. Well, after a while, I would, like, be like, why can't I just get this on Amazon? Not only can I get it on Amazon, I can buy a pack of 3 for cheaper. And I'm like, I can bulk buy the thing I use 500 times a day.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to go, like, to a million stores to get all of the, like, random things that you need, like, just little helpful things, like, in prep, especially, like, I travel so much, and, you know, just being able to, like, you know, grab different containers or things that are going to make my life easier while I'm traveling, like, if there's just no other, I don't know what we did before Amazon, and I just don't have the time to go to, like, 20 different stores, like, to be on, like, a hunt for, like, one thing that I need, you know, when you can get everything in one place. I can't imagine
clothing shopping. Like, I'll go to the mall to, like, walk around.
Gosh,
but, like, I can't imagine actually having to go clothing shopping.
No, and I'm like you, like, I'm running around with kids going to sporting events and stuff. I'm not, like, I don't really dress up very much, but I will tell you, I did buy a pair of jeans by Good American, and they're called, like, the Always Fits, and they will get me in both phases of prep, like, from my off season to, like, when I'm, like, very close to a show. They just, I don't know, they're like magical jeans that, like, fit you at every stage. There's just something about, like, the fabric. They're really well made, so they are really great. So those are, like, a good little prep hack of, like, because I don't know, I did that. I remember my very first show, I went and bought, like, a whole new wardrobe. I was like, I am so ripped, I'm never gonna not be ripped. I'm buying these tiny clothes, and then, like, 2 weeks after the show, I'm like, I'm fat, like, and I wasn't. But when you put on, like, you know, kids large jeans from Gap, like, it's like, no, girl, they are not going to fit you, like, when you're not, like, you know, in your stage shreds. And so I kind of stopped, you know, really doing that. I mean, certain things just fit better and they, like, look nice, and I'm like, I can show my tummy and feel fine with that, you know, now. But I wouldn't, like, in my off season, just be wearing a crop top.
I'm weird about crop tops. Like, I think it's just because I have a long torso and I'm tall. I'm like, I'm almost 5'7".
Everything's a crop top because you're so tall.
Well, tank tops make me look like shit. I can't wear tank tops. Like, I'm sorry, I can't. I've tried. Like, regular tank tops, they make me look like a box. But if I wear a crop top with, like, high-waisted pants of any kind, it works for me. If I wear a tank top, no. It is so unflattering on me. To the gym, out, like, just out. If I try to wear a cute tank top, like, nope. I'm just a crop top person and a high-waisted person. It's just how I'm built. And I'm just like, I can't stand tank tops. They look like shit on me.
That's like me in a maxi skirt. I just look stupid. I just look like a burrito.
One of those big, like, flowy skirts.
Because I'm really short, too, so, like, it looks really dumb on me. And I know that they're fashionable, but, or, like, you know, I have one of these and I love it. It's like a duster is what it's called. And it's like a long sweater that's just open at the front. It doesn't, like, it literally looks like a bathrobe. And, man, I see women wearing these at the airport, and I think, oh my God, she looks so chic. Like, it's so, like, wearing it so cute over, like, a cute pair of jeans. And I look like I'm wearing just a bathrobe when I wear them. I still have one, though, because I love it, but I don't wear it in public, really, because I look really stupid in it. Because I'm just short. It doesn't look right on me. I don't know.
I have one. I know what you're talking about now. I have something like that, and it's funny, because I don't wear mine in public either. I don't think about it, but it just, every time I try to wear it in public, it doesn't look good. But I do wear it, like, around the house as, like, a cover, and it does look good for, like, a lounging cover. Like, if you're
from the front, I feel like it looks good, but from the back, it's like, oh, sorry about that's not a good look. I don't know. Holy moly, we are rambling. Oh my gosh.
I know. We had a few things we wanted to play catch up with and talk about.
I know.
And share TikTok, Amazon. Well, because you kind of touched on it already. So, like, when we go into, like, TikTok and Amazon, it's because, like, we're shrinking, like, our bodies are shrinking and changing shape. So we, like, get excited and we buy all this stuff, right? And so, and then when we go out of the show, especially a new competitor, all the food and it changes. All of a sudden, those really tight, cute clothes that you just spent, like, time and money on don't fit you anymore. So how are you going to mentally handle that? And that's what really segues into today's topic is mental toughness and how really to combat, you know, different tough times throughout your prep and, like, even after your show. So that's really what we want to talk about today.
Yeah.
So.
that's the theme of today. Well, this is, I mean, if you're listening, you're either thinking about competing or you are a competitor or you've competed before, so you understand the ramblings. But, I think really just it gets hard. Like we talked about at the beginning of this episode where I had sort of like a moment where I was, really struggling with how difficult it was. But I think mental toughness is huge. And I've said this a million times, but I always think like that is like the number one character trait that makes a good competitor is mental toughness. Because I've, had people come along and be like, oh, somebody said I look like I could compete. I really want to do a show. Okay, why? Well, because I think it's beautiful and it's like glamorous and I love to perform. Okay, why? You have to really be okay with like how hard it is and really push when it gets tough and really want it, because I have seen people that they do have the structure and the genetics and the athletic background, but they can't hang when it gets really, really tough and they can't deal with the difficult sides of it. And I've also seen people who have nothing going for them as far as the traits of that physique. They might have started working out later in life and, they might not have any idea what they're doing in the gym, and they end up being a fantastic competitor because they were a student of the sport. They had the mental toughness and they just weren't going to stop until they got to their goal. And that made them a fantastic competitor. And they had a great, run in the industry. So I think that is something that, that's what it really takes in the sport is mental toughness.
Yeah, and there's no other sport that's like our sport. Not at all. Our sport is 24/7. That's it. It is that cut and dry. You can be a baseball player, a football player, and you can sit here and say, oh, my sport is tougher and tougher and tougher. No, it's not. Like, it's not. At the end of the day, like, you can go run and train for 3, 4, or 5 hours. That's fine. But then when you're done training, like, you're done training. And you can go have family dinner and you can go get drunk and have a hangover and sleep for X amount of hours and not have to worry about your cardiovascular activity. You don't have to worry about how many calories you're consuming and where are they coming from and how they're going to affect your digestion system. Like, you don't have to, like, that's something that no other sport has to, like, think about. You kind of can clock out, So, like, our sport is way more mentally tough. Yeah, we spend an hour, 2 hours, of course, like, we'll speak specifically about bikini and wellness, So, like, you spend, like, probably an hour and a half at the gym. And, like, maybe 2, just depending on, like, your time frame and everything and how long you're there. And you have your cardio. But, like that only takes, like, a little bit of your time a day. But the rest of the time, like, you have to be on point with your food. And no other sport has to do that. And that takes a lot of wherewithal because we live in a country that shoves food in your face for absolutely everything we do.
Yep.
And it's insane. We literally made up brunch. Like, that's
Did we
made
really?
It up. Yeah.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, we made a mealtime because it was fun to get drunk during that time. I don't know why we made it up. But yeah, no other countries do brunch. It's crazy.
It's so
and
true.
Also, during, like, a lot of, you know how people have corporate gatherings and they always bring snacks? Like, you have to bring snacks to meetings, right? No, we're, like, one of the only countries that do that. Like, this snacking is outrageous.
Even portions in this country, like, the portion sizes are out of control, and everything just even in society, like, has to do with, well, let's meet for a drink, or, oh, we're going to go here. Like, there's always food. There's always, something going on that's paired with every event. So it is really challenging. It's not the 2 hours in the gym. It's the other 22 hours that you're not in the gym. And, there's just not a lot of sports like that. I think watching my son train for wrestling was about the closest that I've seen as far as having to really be diligent outside of training and, with weight cuts and all of that. Which I think, there's probably some parents who wouldn't want that for their child. They might be like, I don't think it's good for them to be focused so much on nutrition. But, with Brady, we've really used that as an opportunity to teach him about how food makes him feel. And in being more conscientious on his weekends and in the off season, it will make his season a lot easier. So he doesn't have to go without. And we've got, lots of really great solutions for foods that he can have that are enjoyable, but they're still going to keep him on track to making his weight for each of his meets. So, but there aren't a lot of sports that you have to, pay that much attention to every single calorie. It's just, focus on protein or drink lots of water, but with our sport, there's so many variables and for everything to come together. So it is tough. And really our podcast is geared towards busy moms so that we can show you that it can be done, but it does get tricky to push through those hard times. Like we were saying earlier, when you've got to stay up late because you have to pick a kiddo up and your meal time was at 6 o'clock and now it's 11 o'clock. Like, what do you do? So, so maybe you could share some strategies for like the main one that people are probably tuning in for is what to do when you're starving and you're about to eat your arm off. Like, what are some, maybe we can do sort of like some hacks and then we can talk about the mental part.
Yeah. So I'll easily share one this weekend. Obviously we're 7 weeks out and there is no room for error, right? We have to do exactly what our coaches want us to do. We have to eat exactly on point, right? So I know going into the weekend that I might not have access to a microwave. I might not have access to silverware. I don't know. I have a lot of things that are unknown. So I off the bat eliminate as many unknowns as I possibly can. So I will pack food. I will overpack food. So for example, I needed 8 meals packed with me. I packed 10. If something happened to one of the meals, I had an extra one. I packed meals that I could eat cold, and I packed meals that I could eat without utensils. So I easily could condense and pack that and be able to walk around, carry them around, just be able to grab and go and have that. And in fact, of course, I didn't need all 10. I only needed 8 of those meals, right? But when I got home and I emptied out my backpack, you know what happened? I almost overslept for a soccer game, right? I said that at the beginning. I was able to grab one of those meals that I had, and instead of starving at a soccer game, which is what I would have had to do if I didn't have a meal, I would have had to just wait, right? I was able to grab my meal and eat dinner at the soccer field. And so, I was so overly prepared, it stopped me from having to go through one of those moments of starving. So always, always, always just count on yourself. I can't preach that enough. I don't, even if all my friends, family, anywhere I'm going, they say, I have water for you. I have something for you to drink. I have protein for you. Don't worry, I got you. I'll appreciate it 100%. And will I consume or eat or drink it if it's there and I can? Yeah, absolutely. But will I rely on it? Never.
No, you can't. And when somebody's preparing food, you don't know that they didn't season it too much or, it's just safer if you just do it yourself. And then you're able to measure it. And and I think that's sweet when people really want to help, but
I have to share this. Actually, I don't mean to even, I know we're good about not talking over each other, but I just thought of this. Okay, the sweetest thing that happened, and I had to turn it down. So we had a girly little get together in my neighborhood. It was to watch a cute little show on Netflix. It was so adorable. One of the themes of the show that we were watching had something to do with having lemonade. Not lemonade. What is this spiked? Whatever alcohol drink it is with lemonade. I can't remember what it's called. But so the girl that was hosting it is a friend of mine, and she made these cocktails for everybody. She knows I don't drink, so she made a version of this cocktail, but it was without alcohol. So I got there, she was so excited to show me and be like, I made this for you. It had so much sugar in it.
Oh no.
I couldn't, it was so sugary. And I looked at her and I was like, I was so grateful and I was so appreciative, and I was like, girl, I'm so sorry, but I can't drink it. And I just looked at her and I was so sad, and she totally understood. But this is where the mental toughness is so important, because I literally had to say this to her while she prepared something for me. I did it with a smile. I did it caringly, lovingly. She totally understood, but I couldn't compromise something I'm working so hard for something that at the end of the day is a sugary beverage. And she totally understood it. But I will never forget that. I was like, oh.
I've had that before too. Somebody made me a coffee, and they poured a bunch of honey and this almond milk, and it's organic, and I was like, oh, cute. And I just I kind of just nursed it. I mean, I
Yeah.
and honestly, I probably wouldn't have drank it anyways because it really was like not how I make a coffee. But yeah, I think it's just you just have to be you have to be assertive, but like also kind. Because people don't know they really are trying. They really like
Yes.
they just don't understand like, and they might know a lot about nutrition. They might, but they don't know about competing and how different that is and how specific it is. So I think there's a way to handle it in a way that is courteous and I appreciate this so much, and I've even gone like, I'll take it home. My kids will love it, or,
Yep.
something like that. But, because people are like, I don't want you to not have anything, like, especially if it's somebody who is hosting. And I'm always like, it's really fine. Trust me. Like, you don't have to do anything. Like, I'm just excited to be around you and enjoy your company. And that's, I think, what's so interesting about our society is we're so far removed from the purpose of really getting together. It isn't about the food. It should be about the company, right? So I kind of
Yeah.
just try to like lean into that and be like, I'm mostly excited to spend time with you. It really doesn't matter what I'm eating.
Yeah, I have that a lot with vegetables. Like, I'll have a lot of get-togethers or friends, and
Yes.
I'll bring my own food, and nobody asks. Like, they've kind of gotten to the point where like they know, like I'll bring my own food, like my close friends and stuff. But a lot of their husbands will still be like, "Oh, well, we cooked like a bunch of veggies, but they drown it in oil," which
Yeah.
is fine, but I can't eat that. And so sometimes it becomes kind of like, well, it's vegetables, but that's like people don't understand and they're trying to be nice, and like you said, be courteous and kind, always grateful. It's just people's vision of healthy is so different. Like if it says natural and organic, that might be somebody's version of extremely healthy.
Yeah.
So it's just, you never really know people's background or where people are coming from when it comes to like being healthy. So it's just, you really gotta stick up for yourself and respect your boundaries and your, why are you doing this? Like, why are you working so hard? Why are you stepping on stage? And really have that guide you through like those moments in time.
Yeah. Through all of it, because there's going to be times where,
Yeah.
your cardio gets moved around because, you suddenly have something come up and you had this whole day planned and it doesn't work out how you thought. But, you have to push yourself. It is not, no part of this is easy. And, the payoff is huge. But, and the payoff comes because you realize that you did a lot of things when you didn't think you could. But you always feel good when you do something that you don't want to do. Like, there's been so many times, like, specifically back day, I'm just like, don't, it's like, just not my favorite. And I like dilly dally around in the kitchen and I'm like, I don't want to go. Like, I don't say it out. Okay, I've said it out loud a couple times and I end up having the best workout. I'm not going to not go, but it's just not like glute day. And I love training glutes. And I do train lower body like 4 times a week. So I really only have to train upper body twice. But like that one upper body day, I'm always like, and Brian knows, he's like, it's back day, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah. Like, so, doing things that you don't want to do. And then when you're done, you're always like, oh man. So like, this
Yeah.
is what I think is the beautiful thing about our sport is the growth that comes from it. And that's why when you talk to people who've done it for such a long time, that's like the reason why is because it's helped them to level up but you have to want to do the hard things and a lot of people don't, and that's okay. But I think that's probably why some people don't understand our sport, because that's just not what they've chosen. And it doesn't mean they don't have a fulfilling life, like they do, and that's great. But if you're here and this is what you want to do, then you're kind of like one of those weirdos who likes to do the hard things. And that's why we kind of all got to stick together, right? Because we understand each other.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is so true. And kind of like you touched on a little bit, one of the probably toughest things that people I don't want to say they don't expect it. I think they don't expect the feeling, but of being hungry and like,
yep,
really wearing
you
on
do
that.
get used to it though. You really do.
You do.
You do.
I
You
feel
can't
like,
in the beginning. Like I remember coming off of my reverse and, I'm eating like 250 grams of carbs and my first cut was like below 200. I was like, I'm absolutely going to die. Like, what am I going to do? And now it's like poverty macros and I'm like, let's go. Like, it's like you really do get used to it. Yeah,
yeah,
poverty.
like that.
Yeah, like literally like, oh, here's,
You have the cutest sayings for stuff. I swear to God. Yes.
I'm a mess is why. But yeah, I think you really do. And it's not like I guess maybe my stomach has shrunk too, but because it's like, you got to take it in stages. Like we talked about this in an earlier episode, like you don't get to this macro level, these calories right away. It takes time. So gradually, you're building. Each week you're getting leaner, and then you start to see the progress and you're like, okay, you're getting closer. So there's also that like, ooh, it's right around the corner. It does get easier, but only if you do the hard things. And I don't know, I don't love my stomach growling, but when that happens, I'm like, okay, we're probably getting ready to have a good drop here, and I
Yeah.
think that that's just a feeling that is just something that is hard to adjust to. And you will have days where you don't physically feel all that great because, your body is trying to conserve energy and you've got to go and train and whatnot. And it's temporary. So I think you just have to be like, all right, sucks right now, but it's not forever. And also you chose it. So you have to go, okay, well, this is something that I want to do and I'm going to suck it up. And then, and it passes. It's temporary. We have to get used to like discomfort. We're so much of a society that's like, oh, you have a headache, take a Tylenol. Oh, you're cold, get a blanket. Oh, you're hot, cool yourself down in front of the fan. Like everything's instant, fix everything, right? And this is, you don't get to do that. You're going to have hard times. You're going to have discomfort and you just have to fucking suck it up,
You do. Yeah, and it's crazy. I was just talking to Carson about that yesterday because he felt like shit after his soccer game. His back really hurt, his knees banged up, and I'm like, well, this is what we have to do, and I rambled off the stuff that we have to do, and he was just like miserable, and I'm like, we're not always supposed to feel great. Like, do you know all the shit that goes on inside us to live? Like, not like, I mean, if you actually sit down and think of like anatomically and physiologically like what goes on inside us, like we're not always gonna feel great. So like it's okay not to feel great all the time and be uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean it's so gradual. Like you eventually do get used to being hungry. There's so many ways to combat it, like to get used to it. I will say the busier you can be or the more distracted you can be, the better. Still enjoy like your rest days and things like that, and like you can even like what I will sometimes do is like I'll split some of my meals up and make them into smaller meals if like I feel like I'm gonna be like hungry that day or something, you kind of get a feel for the day. But if you're listening to this podcast and you are like have been in the industry for a while, if you know who Chris, I don't know if I told you about this. So what really got me was about like a year or two ago. You know who Chris Bumstead is, of course, right?
Of course.
Right? Of course.
Who doesn't?
So exactly. If you don't know who Chris Bumstead is, look him up now. He's the greatest. I heard that one of his Olympia preps, he's the classic physique competitor. For those of you listening, he's like the
Canadian.
person.
He's also Canadian.
He's also the sweetest.
All good things come from Canada.
He's stop it. Anyways,
you knew I was
if you look
say
him
that.
up and you see like who this man is and everything he's accomplished, and just all of him as a being, one of his Olympia preps he did on 1,500 calories. Look,
damn, he's a big man. He is a big man.
He's a beast. And if he can be hungry, can you imagine how hungry he must have been on 1,500 calories to look like that, to go on the stage for Olympia and win multiple times on 1,500 calories. I got this motto in my head after I heard this. I'm like, dude, if he can do it, like I can do it. Look at my size and look at his size. And I'm eating more than 1,500 calories. Like I'll be fucking fine. Like I'll be fine. So like thinking like that, like just the mindset of like, yeah, I'm a little hungry right now, or yeah, it sucks. Dude, I'm going to eat in like an hour or two, or I'm going to eat later. Like I'll be fine.
You're not going to starve. It's going to be okay.
It's fine. Like it's all okay. And it just like over time thinking like that instead of I'm so hungry, like just it's so annoying. Just enjoy the process, be grateful you get to do it, have gratitude for the things you get to do, and like just be hungry, sucks for a little bit, be grateful you get to eat in a little bit, and you get to pick what you eat and how you eat and how you like just
you can't always get what you want, it's just like, we want to fix everything and we want everything to be, hunky-dory and whatnot. And I just think, and what you're doing to yourself, if you're in that mindset of like, I can't have this, and I'm so pissed I can't have this, or I can't go here, and all these like no's, what you're really doing is like creating such a mindset around like scarcity. And then on the flip side of that, it's not a good place to be, because then Show's over, dangling carrots removed. You're not X weeks out. Nobody's following your, progress anymore on Instagram. We're not taking photos and, every day of your abs, right? And then you indulge in all those things you were bitching and complaining about not having. How happy are you now? You're not. So you have to think about that, right? And everybody's had the bellyache from like overindulging. You don't really want that. It's just a matter of kind of like, it is weird to think like I thought about this the other day, like I haven't like gone to a drive-through and for myself like in years. And I
Yeah,
know that
same.
that's to say that's not normal because it's society that is what people do often. And I'm not saying everybody's getting burgers and fries because people make good fast food choices. We give them to our clients all the time. There are
Yeah.
healthy options, right? But if I sat around and went, do you know how long it's been since I've had fast food or a glass of wine or a piece of pizza? Well, that's going to make
Right.
my mind focus on the wrong things. Like, that's not a good place to be. So, in general, like, the more positive your attitude is during prep, the way better your off season is going to be. You can't be fixated on food and all these things you want to have and all the things you couldn't have when you were in prep. You have to get out of that mindset because I know people are probably tuning in going like, oh, I wonder what they eat when they're hungry and like, what are the like sugar-free things that you can have so that you don't have to feel hungry? You just have to feel hungry sometimes. Like, because if you fill up your time between meals with all kinds of fake 0 calorie stuff, you're just putting a bunch of chemicals in your body. And like, I'm not here to say I don't have a diet Dr. Pepper once a day, sometimes twice a day. I totally do. But I'm not like, oh, I'm hungry. I have to put something in my belly. Let me chug a gallon of Crystal Light because that's not going to really do anything good for my body. I'm also not going to train my stomach to not expect something. I have to kind of get used to that because it's not like I'm going to get more food in the days ahead, right? So I just think
Yeah.
mindset is really the secret to all of it.
Yeah, I remember right when I was coming out of or I was going into my reverse from Clash, and well, for one, when I was backstage at Clash, one of the vendors that was backstage, like happened to bring Wendy's, and of course, like you're backstage with all of these competitors, like that smell of fries, we
Oh
can
yeah, it
all smell
smells
that
good.
a mile
Yeah.
away. But I'm like you, I haven't went through a drive-through or had like I haven't gone through unless it's Starbucks. I haven't gone through a drive-through or got eaten fast food. I honestly can't remember because it's just not who
Yeah.
I am. This is even outside of prep. That's just not who I am.
Yeah.
And but that was the key to that is that there was I shouldn't say all this. There was Wendy's backstage, and oh my gosh, these girls, they were just like, I can't wait to eat that. I can't wait to do that. I'm so hungry. Da 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 da. And you're in this group of people, and it's like you have this knee jerk reaction that you're supposed to fit in, or get involved or be like them. Don't lose yourself. Like,
Yeah.
think of who you are. Because I listened to this and I immediately, as it was my turn to speak, of course, in the group, I immediately was like, oh, I don't eat that. Nothing to do with prep, nothing to do with where I was at before prep. I just don't eat fast food because it's not good
Yeah.
for me. And that's my personal choice. If you do, great. But like, I'm not going to, don't compromise yourself and your integrity to fit in with a group. Be
Yeah.
your individual self. I
And
will
you
say when I
might
was coming.
that might be your idea of a good cheat meal. Like everybody has their thing, right?
Exactly.
But, I just think I've said this analogy to so many of my clients. Like, if I gave you $5,000, are you going to go to Louis Vuitton or are you going to go to Dollar General? If this is money, then I'm saying don't spend this on anyone else. Buy yourself something decadent. You would spend it wisely, right? So it's the same with calories. Don't spend it on a bunch of crap unless you really, really want it. Like, everybody's different, right? Like, some people have, like, who is it who eats carnival food? Oh my God, it's one of our clients. Who is it? I'll
I have
think of
no
it.
idea.
Okay, so one of our clients, her post show thing is like she wants like funnel cake and like carnival food because it's like from her childhood, right? So I'm like, that's a smart
Interesting.
spend of calories because that's something that's going to make you super, super happy. Or if it is like a microwave pizza, like, who cares? I'm not judging you. I am not judging you. You can go to Wendy's all you want, but my point is, those calories, if you get them, spend them wisely. Don't spend them on crap that you don't want, that's not good for your body. If you're gonna have a bellyache, have it over something that's really, really good and have a good moment.
Yes, the moment. Enjoy it. Absolutely. Because, see, exactly. Like, after the show, I went to a nice steakhouse, and, dude, I spent those calories on probably one of the best steaks I've ever had.
Yeah.
That was so good. And then, of course, like, potatoes and all the other stuff. But, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
Gillian, we touched an hour.
Plus the 35 minutes that we chatted before we even
gotta
hit
warm up.
record. I know.
Yeah, we always have to warm up before we start.
I know. Just catch up. Yeah.
Right.
Well, hopefully that was helpful, you guys. And we have a really cool concept for an episode coming up here soon. We're going to bring on some true novice bikini competitors and have them share their experience of their very first competitions. And that was from a viewer question. Somebody suggested that. So we love to have your ideas. Please comment down below. Also, if you had like some sort of a funky Amazon or TikTok purchase that you made recently using your crazy prep brain, we want to know about it. So leave that below, leave your comments, and be sure to let us know what you thought about this episode.
Yeah, and everything that we named from our Amazon stuff, we'll link our storefronts and everything in the show notes below. So whatever platform you're watching this on, you'll be able to access that as well. And of course, we always want your feedback. And if you guys have any questions about coaching or starting your prep journey, always feel free to message us. You can, of course, continue to leave the comments and let us know if you want any insight. But you can always reach out to our social media platforms, and we're both open books and be able to help you with coaching or answer any questions, posing, anything like that. But we always appreciate any feedback, and thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.